Nothing Ever Happens, an original comedy drama TV series. Following the death of his husband, a journalist returns to the small town where he and his late partner both grew up to settle some legal and personal issues before he can move on. But small town weariness and previously escaped troubles of their past come back to haunt him. Thomas is struggling. Recently widowed at 29, he can't bring himself to change the weekly Amazon Alexa notification that reminds him of his dead husband, let alone go through his things and start the process of trying to move on. Unfortunately, he is made to start that process unwillingly, as he is forced by legal troubles brought on by his in-laws, who wish to take control of his husband's assets and to put on a funeral for him, which will dead name him, misgender him, and disrespect him. To make matters worse, the funeral will take place in the small town they both succeeded in leaving as soon as they both could. A small town that is as rife with tired pubs and dreary shops as it is with casual stony bigotry and repressed memories and pasts that they both tried hard to get rid of. As grey skies colour his inner turmoil, Thomas must fight to secure respect for his partner in his death, whilst working to stay emotionally stable in a town that embodies everything he dislikes and reminds him of everything he attempted to leave behind. The story is one that stems largely from the queer experience and how it shapes how you approach all aspects of life, something that cis-het people may not realise, and something that I, as a queer person who has been openly queer since I was young, can certainly attest to and tell stories of. The story is also one that analyses growing up and living and socialising in a small town, looking not only at how that small town life affects queer people, but also how that small town weariness in general can affect you, especially if you are dealing with heavy and complicating emotions such as grief. I can also attest to this as I grew up in a small town just outside Sunderland, somewhere whose grey dreariness and depressing air is emblematic of a blatant carelessness from the government, both local and national, the type of carelessness and near abandonment that can really weigh on your mind. Nothing Ever Happens is a show very much in line with other popular comedy dramas that are more heavy on the drama and lighter on the comedy, such as Back to Life, a show which also takes a look at a character attempting to move on from a past that is constantly made to hound them in a town they struggle to integrate into. Other influences lie in the show's feel good, with its telling of queer stories and characters who struggle dealing with a traumatic past, and The End of the Effing World, with the characters' strained relationships with those around them and feelings of world weariness. Nothing Ever Happens is primarily aimed at queer audiences and young adults. According to a survey done by Stonewall UK, only 71% of Gen Z are straight, and only 53% say they are exclusively straight. I think it's very important to have more shows of all styles and genres that feature queer characters and tell of the queer experience, so that the 40% of young adults, excluding those in the survey who didn't say or didn't know, have shows, characters and stories to look to, learn from and empathise with.